Hey everyone, talking about Cupajoe by BathSabbath. I have done a review on this previously, glowing about it, no doubt. But I always do an updated review and say when something becomes full bottle worthy for me if I didn't already have it yet at that point, and this has passed that test. You may be like, full bottle worthy, that looks tiny. It comes in 10 milliliter things, and it's like a roller ball, but this is really potent, so I think that this will last me a long time. It's about $20 for a 10 milliliter, which I think is a perfectly good deal for this, again, because this is so potent that it's not like it's a typical 10 mil of something that might go through really quickly. So yeah, basically the notes in this are freshly brewed coffee with hints of vanilla and cream, and it's made with real coffee essential oil. I used to think that I just didn't like coffee fragrances, and then I realized it's coffee as a note that it can be really hit or miss for me, depending on what it's combined with. For example, there's some popular fragrances like Rocus Man, New Harlem, Coffee Break by Margiela that are like coffee and lavender. Not my thing. Sometimes I've tried other stuff with coffee notes where I'm like, eh. But the more I tried like really coffee centered fragrances, then I started to appreciate it a lot more. And this is the single best, for my taste at least, that I've ever tried. So often they go in either kind of a really, really bitter direction, which I'm down with that if it's like really coffee centered bitter, but sometimes it's like so bitter and then they use something like patchouli to kind of further accentuate the bitterness. Or other times it's so sweet and gourmandy, which can smell nice in small doses, but I don't really want to smell like that. This one is just the perfect mix to me of definitely smelling like very authentic coffee, but with like enough of a slight sweetness that it's not just so full on completely bitter only. Yeah, it reminds me basically of the smell of like being in a, so you're working from a coffee shop or hanging out or whatever. And yeah, basically that kind of vibe where it's like very strong coffee, but then there's maybe like a little bit of sweetness from whatever baked goods they're selling too. And, just if you have a latte and it's not too milkshakey with the amount of milk put in it. Yeah, this is so good. And I get really major longevity for this because one time I was testing this at like 4 p.m. on one day. I put like a little tiny bit on my wrist with the rollerball just to, or whatever, and I was up like all night because the smell was so. I don't know if it's really because it was like the coffee and the caffeine and the smell and on my skin made me awake or just like the association, but I was still smelling that thing 18 hours later. Not saying everybody's going to get that, depends on your skin chemistry, but for me, I got major longevity from this, and I definitely got some more projection than I would typically expect from like a perfume oil or like rollerball type of scent in general. And yeah, I think it has cute art as well, if that shows up at all with the little skull coffee cup. Yeah, and yeah, I really like this small indie fragrance house. All of theirs have like cool art, and I really like the way that they do sort of gourmand type of stuff. This to me is only gourmand in the sense that if you think like coffee stuff is like, again, it's not like so sugary over the top or anything, but I do really like a lot of theirs that are more like gourmandy, and I'm very picky about gourmands in general. But I just love this. Yeah. So this is my only full bottle worthy coffee scent at this point. Sometime soon, I'm going to post a top 5 best coffee fragrances list, and this will definitely be on there since it's my number one. But there are about 4 others that I've tried that I do feel fit that category. But yeah, I highly recommend this if you're interested in a coffee fragrance. And I don't even drink coffee anymore, so it's not even. I don't think you have to, be a big coffee drinker to be able to appreciate the scent. If you hate coffee as a scent, I mean, yeah, definitely don't get it. But I do recommend checking out a sample if you are at all interested in having a coffee center thing. And I'll link my previous review in the description as well, and where you can get a bottle or sample.